is because this is the way that politicking should be. We should be in an arena, in a world where the people who are saying, I want to be your representative, you can actually reach out to, touch, talk to, and actually answer questions. You're finding right now, if you look at the current Democrat Party and the current Republican Party, they're not doing that. They're basically just saying the other guy is evil, and that's it. And they have no answer for you. They have nothing. What's happening now is you look at Governor Cuomo as he's running, what is his entire policy? His entire policy is Trump is evil. That's the entire campaign. Now, whether you personally think Trump is evil or not, I don't really care. It's up to you. But my issue here is, how does that help any New Yorker? How does that get any New Yorker to have a better job, a better opportunity, better chance for their family? How does it bring somebody back from North Carolina who's left? How does it make your life better in any way, shape, or form? It doesn't. It just makes you feel righteous when you cast your vote. But the red team's no better, right? The red team right now, what's their entire campaign? Cuomo's evil. Cuomo's corrupt. We know he's corrupt. We kind of knew that already. That's not new news for us. We knew this already. And again, Cuomo being corrupt, how does that help you? How does it help any New Yorker have a better life, reunite their family from Tennessee or from Florida? How does it make anybody come back? How does it make your friend or your family member who graduated from college here and then packed up and left and never came back? How does it make that person come back? It doesn't. That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to give you actual answers. The goal here is that you're not voting out of fear anymore. You're not voting for the lesser of two evils. You're actually voting for someone. And we haven't been doing that for years. The last 16 years, you know what's been happening? Here's what's been happening. Red team comes in second, blue team comes in first, and nothing changes. That's been happening for 16 years. Red team comes in second, nothing changes. Guys, can I get you to mind the camera behind you if you don't mind? That's all, if you don't mind. Because people are watching and they're going to be upset if you're in the way. So it's important to make that change. That's one reason why I'm doing this. People say all the time, Larry, why are you doing this? Why in the world would you be out here in every town, in all these cities, when you could be doing something else? I could be doing something else. But I'm doing this. Why? It's actually selfish. I don't want to move. That's the truth. I don't want to move. How many people in this room right now know somebody who's left New York State? Yep, there we go. How many of you have considered leaving New York State? Yep, there we go. That's if you watch my live streams, you see I do this in every single event and every single time. At least 75% of the room puts their hands in the air for both questions. Every time, no matter what town, no matter what city, no matter where I am, no matter what time of day. That should be an embarrassment for our governor, and it's not. I'm a business guy. If my customers hate me and they're leaving, and I'm losing 100,000 customers every single year for 8 years straight, I'm a really crappy CEO. My goal is to make happy people, happy New Yorkers, so they want to stay. Single thing I talk about is a way to do something crazy. I talk about what our actually founding documents talk about. The pursuit of happiness. I talk about it all the time. Who else talks about that? No one. It's about punishing people and harsher rules and more penalties. I talk about you being happy. You might go, well, Larry, that's kind of silly. No, it's not. Well, it's subjective. It is, which is why you have to pursue happiness in your way. I don't know what makes you happy. You probably don't know what makes you happy. But again, it's the pursuit of happiness. So go out there and try. If that's a new business, if that's a new relationship, if that's a new job, if that's education, whatever, that's a farm, if that's moving to a big city, whatever you think is going to make you happy is what we should be focusing on in this state. Why? Because if we have happy New Yorkers, we have happy families, we have happy business owners, we have happy employees, we have happy workers, which means we have happy kids and happy husbands and wives and sisters and brothers and cousins and spouses. And that means people will stay in New York. You'll keep your family in New York. You'll bring your family back to New York. You open your business in New York. And one of the biggest things that's hurting us, when you retire, you'll keep your pension in New York. And we're not doing that. Happy New Yorkers means all of that stays in this state, and this state grows, and we're all good. I'm focused on happy New Yorkers. Everything I talk about is about that, and no one else talks about that. Ask your Democrat or Republican who's running for governor, ask them to talk about happiness, and they'll talk about law, and they'll talk about theory. I'll give you actual answers. the one thing you've seen me do always is answer every single question. Next thing you've never seen me have. In a year I've been doing this. You've never seen me with notes. Not once. You've also never seen me have rules. Not once. What does that mean? Well, Larry, that's great that you'll do that, but what happens when you win? Well, when I win, guess what I don't have? Massive party infrastructure. Guess what I don't have? A bunch of party bosses that can begin to move everything. I don't have that. You know what I have? You. That's what I have. You. I can't stop this. I've been doing this for a year and I'll keep doing it for 4 more when I win. Literally. So do I need a mic? Can you guys hear me? Yep. Okay, we're good. Yep. So see, he's good. Love that, yes. So the issue here is remembering I still need you. So literally, when I win this thing, I'm going to get a bus. Maybe I'll sell one of those cool Cuomo choppers, helicopters, get rid of one of those. And I'll actually, yes, he has many of them. So yeah, so maybe I'll get a bus. And I'll get a bus and I'll have my awesome lieutenant governor, who is Andrew Hollister, who is a tech guy, and we'll deck it out so that we can actually run the government through the bus. But Larry, who's going to pay for it? We'll sell one of those helicopters. Yes, we'll sell one of those helicopters, and we'll have a real cool bus that'll be decked out, no taxpayer money, already paid for. And guess what? I can run the government from any city in New York State. I can actually still be here, meet people, shake hands, talk to people, know what's bothering you, figure out how to help you guys out. That's what I can do. I don't want to be the governor that you have now, which is, I won, elections have consequences, I'm now going to enforce my will upon you because I won. And be afraid, because if someone else wins, they'll enforce their will upon you. So vote for me because of fear. I want to be the governor who instead decides, I want to actually support your rights and defend your rights against the local bullies that constantly pop up. And many of you have had local bullies push you. Local bullies try to stop you. Local bullies doing the wrong thing to hurt you and affect your rights in some way, shape, or form. You've had it. County level, city level, you all had it. And why do they not get punished? Why does your FOIA request get ignored? Why did when you call, no one cares? Because those local bullies are part of the infrastructure. They are enforcing the king's will. That's what they're doing. That will not be my will. Because people tease me all the time. Larry, you're from Queens. How can you know what's right for Syracuse or Liverpool or Watertown or Rochester or Jamestown? I don't. I don't. I don't know what's right for you. I don't. I don't plan to. I never will. But guess what? You don't know what's right for me in Queens either. We're even. How about I let you be you, you let me be me, we let her be her and him be him, and we'll all be free together. We can do that. It is absolutely possible, which is why this race is so important. I will go one step further and say this is the most important individual race in the entire nation. Yes, I'm saying that. The most important individual race in the entire nation. Now, as a group, there are other things that are important as a group. But I mean as a single election, there is not one more important. Why? What happens when I win this thing? The entire nation changes overnight. And I'm not joking. You know what I'm talking about. The two-party system of the establishment is broken overnight. All of a sudden, you will find several things happen. Number one, you will find people who are third party, people who are libertarian, people who are independent, people who are anything will all of a sudden say, wow, I can win. I don't have to fall in line with the current king of one of the parties. I don't have to do that. I can actually have my own way of thinking, my own way of doing things, and I have a shot at actually winning. Oh my God. You will find better politics, period. You will find better people running. You will find more people interested. You will find grassroots people actually running. You will find that happen overnight. But not just that. What will happen to Democrats and Republicans? They can't just point the finger at each other and go, you know, I killed one person, but he killed 3, so vote for me. That's how it is now. I saw a commercial the other day, and the commercial was almost this. This guy is a bad guy. This guy is terrible. He's corrupt. This guy is horrible. This guy is the worst ever. End. You guys see that commercial? Yes. It didn't say, here's the answer, or vote for this guy. It just said, wow, this guy's terrible. This guy is horrible. That was the entire campaign. That tells you where we are now. There were no answers. It was fear, 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 fear. I win this thing, that goes away. Why does it go away? Because when it's just me and him, and that's all it is, he's evil, you're afraid, you vote for me, or worse, you give up. And that's what's been happening in New York State. 70% of New Yorkers don't vote. They give up. I know people who have been around this state for decades and have never voted. Constantly I get people who come to these events who vote. People who don't vote will start voting. And when right now, if there's 3 of us running, and I go, he's evil, he goes, he's evil, he gets the vote. The good guy actually gets the vote because we're both evil. You will see everything change when I win. What if I'm wrong? I can't win. I come in second. No worries. You know what happens? I get a microphone in my face every single day saying, Larry, how'd you do it? How'd you do it? How'd you do it? What do I start doing? I actually talked to people. I showed up. I didn't rely on my R or my D or my party bosses. I actually showed up. But not just that. I talked about Second Amendment. I talked about lower taxes. I talked about small business. I talked about fixing schools. I talked about fixing family court. I talked about helping people out. And people said, oh, I like that. And they voted for me. We will have better Democrats and better Republicans if I just come in second, because they will have to actually do what they're supposed to do. Democrats are supposed to be about civil liberties. They're not. If I all of a sudden am here going, why aren't you? They'll have to be. If you're saying, why aren't you? They'll have to be. Republicans are supposed to be about smaller government and supporting small business. They're not. But when I come in second, they'll have to be. You'll tell them. I'll tell them. They'll move. Everything gets better. This campaign is about real change. If you vote the same old ways, red or blue, here's what I promise you. Blue comes in first. Red comes in second. This is a statewide election, by the way, not locally. Locally, Republicans, Democrats win all the time. I'm talking statewide. Blue comes in first. Red comes in second. No change. This is the change. I want to make it to where we are no longer voting for the lesser of 2 evils, and we are instead voting for someone who actually we want to vote for. When you ask me questions, some of you have seen it before, I will sometimes say things you don't like, some things you don't agree with. I'm okay with that. One thing I hope you'll understand, I'll never dodge a question. And I'll tell you what I feel, even if you don't like it. My hope is that I get you at 80% of the time. I want 80%. 100% is impossible. I get it. But 80%. I use 80% for 2 reasons. One, business guy, the 80-20 rule. Right? So you know about that 80-20 rule. Second, Reagan was my first first commander-in-chief. And Reagan always said, if someone believes in you or agrees with you 80% of the time, that person is your ally, not your enemy. So I say 80%. If we connect 80%, you should consider voting for me. If we don't, you should vote for someone else or stay home. Please don't stay home. Too many of us stay home. I think I'm done for now. I could probably sit and talk for 4 more hours, but I won't. What I'll do instead is I'll do what I hope you guys want, is I'll take some questions and comments. And to be forward, here are my rules on questions and comments. No rules. You can say whatever you want, any way you want, in any way, shape, or form. Please, if you're going to insult, only insult me, no one else here, please. It's my only rule, right? If I have any, please don't insult anybody else. Just insult me if you want to. Any question, any comment, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Is there any way to get the lotto back to schools?
Great question. Remember, some of you may remember, there was an issue where the lottery was supposed to be supporting schools. Remember that? Yeah, like the tolls were going to end once you pay for the bridge. Remember that story? Yeah, that was the story I told you? Yeah. No, it isn't. And I'm okay with that. I think that the lottery goes to a general fund, which I'm okay with. I don't need that, because the problem is if you start doing that, now you're deciding how much money goes to the school based upon the lottery. Not the right answer, right? And not just that, you're now incentivizing people to gamble. I don't want to incentivize people. I don't want you to not to gamble. It's your money. If you want to gamble, please gamble. Your money. I don't want to incentivize you to gamble either. I want you to gamble because you want to gamble. It's your money. Do what you want. That makes you happy. You like doing it. Go ahead. So no, no, we won't, and I'm okay with it. There are better ways to fund schooling that we can do it anyway. And the Constitution makes us fund it anyway. So it isn't really a concern. Did I answer your question? Awesome. I know see, he didn't like it, but I answered it. Yes. Yes. Go ahead, please.
Well, I was kind of expanding on his question. It's like, couldn't we have that be for schools plus other methods?
In theory, but what happens is what always happens. If we earmark something for X, then somebody goes, yes, but it's a crisis, or it's an emergency, or whatever thing they make up, and then they change it. If we simply say we're going to fund schools a different way, it becomes irrelevant. But not just that. Now we also have a reason to say, well, if lottery or gambling is for schools, right, or for whatever we decide to make it, then all of a sudden government has the right to control gambling. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay that only the government can have a vice, right? If it's a vice, it's a vice. If it's not a vice, it's not a vice. Either way, government shouldn't be the only people to do it, right? So does it mean only government can, I don't know, kidnap people? Kind of, yeah. But anyway, yes. So I don't want to make these vices to be only government. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Good. Go ahead.
What are your ideas on the taxes in the state, and how do you plan to reform them and change them for the better of the New York people?
That is a massive question, and I will answer it in many different ways. Taxation in this state is a disaster. Most of you know that. This is a disaster. But it's not just taxes. It's also fees and fines and all types of things, right? I'll give you the core, and then I'll give you a bunch of other things around it. The core problem with taxes is the number one, the root problem is what's called unfunded mandates. Some of you know what this is, some of you don't. Unfunded mandates means Albany and or DC decide that you must pay for certain things and you don't have a choice. You just must. Just pay for these things. And you go, but I don't want to. I didn't ask if you wanted to. You must. And you have counties now that are literally 1/3 on Medicaid, 1/3 on Medicare, with a dwindling population and mandates that don't stop. So now all of a sudden, now you have issues to where sometimes the mandate for a local area, community, or a local municipality is 85 or 95% of their budget. So the budget is $2 million, and they're fighting over $20,000. Well, what happens when you have roads to fix and bridges to repair and school problems? How do you deal with that? One of three things. One, you beg Albany for money, which is very common. Grants and begging, and His Majesty loves that. His Majesty loves when you come to him on one knee and beg for his largesse. Hunger Games, that's correct. His Majesty loves when you fight, 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 right? And he does this. You get it. You don't. He loves that. He set the system up for that, right? But here's what you don't get. Well, sorry, what he doesn't get. It's not his money. It's our money. So when his largesse is our money that he believes is owed to him, he believes that. So then he gives it out. That's option one. I hate that option, but that is option one. Option two, you raise property taxes. And the reason why I do that is, you guys may or may not realize this, that's one of the only taxes you don't actually vote on. Your legislators vote on it without you. And that we can change, the simple line item change to the law. So we make it that all property taxes must be voted on by you in November. That's it. You do that, massive change in property tax, right? Because here's how it actually works right now. Oh my God, we don't have money. We're broken. Unfunded mandates are destroying us. What can we do? We can go in a back room and raise property taxes. That'll get us a bunch of money. Yeah, but we can't raise it past 2% because of the property tax cap, which they always talk about. But there's a loophole. Crisis. That's the loophole. So let me ask you, are we in crisis now?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we are. No doubt, we are so in crisis. So what does that mean? Now we raise property tax, 9, 10. Someone told me once it was raised 17%. Is that true? Yep, there we go. 17% was raised. Yes. Would you vote for that in November? Thank you. All those property tax raises go away just by making that change. Does that make sense? So that's number one, make that change. So get rid of the pressure for them to do it, and then don't let them do it with a simple vote. That will right away put a cap by default on property tax. I don't.
Who's asking for it then?
I'm sorry?
Who's asking for it accountable?
That's correct, yes. And now you, as your people, you got to come out and go, yes, please raise my property tax 17%. If you guys actually do that, you deserve it. That's all I'm saying. If you actually do that, you deserve it. That's all I'm saying, right? So my point being, make that change, that will happen. But now the third option they have, they use law enforcement as a profit center. That becomes their third choice, right? Now, I'm not saying what they're doing is right. I'm saying I understand why, and I will change the environment so they don't have to anymore. Does that make sense, everybody? I can't make every legislator a good person. I can't do that. But what I can do is create an environment to where the good guys can do well and the bad guys are frustrated. That I can do, absolutely, and that's one of the things, right? So now all of a sudden that ticket that was $50 is now $200, or that ticket now has a surcharge or court charge of $200, $300. That winds up happening. And it's purposeful in this. One, they know most of the time you won't pay. They know that. If you pay, they win. But if you don't pay, they can negotiate the dollars down. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. They can negotiate the dollars down. And if they can't do that, they can sell your debt. And that's what they're doing now. They're selling debt. The problem is the collection agency won't buy $30 of debt. But a collection agency will buy $300 of debt that they can throw taxes and fees on, but then not taxes and fees on, to make $1,000 debt. They'll buy that debt. So they have to make sure that you're actually getting high fees so that they can buy high debt. And they get about 30 cents on a dollar. So if your debt now is $300 to the county sells that debt off, they get $100. That's what happens now.
May I interject that last part about law enforcement?
Yes.
I actually work law enforcement in Oneida County.
Yep.
Wouldn't that indeed make the job of law enforcement officers a little harder now that the criminals know, hey, there are higher penalties for this, so we're going to give people more problems? Because there already are.
I don't understand that. Please say that again.
Okay, so say if I pull somebody over and they get a ticket for late registration.
Got it.
It's not a big fee.
Okay.
So they don't give me a problem with the officer that I'm with that pulls them over.
Yes.
They know it's a $300 fee now.
They're yelling and screaming.
Now they're going to cause.
That's correct.
problems.
Yes.
And there's already a lot of problems with how
I
police are viewed.
already, to be forward with you, I agree with you. And this is another thing.
So
There's several parts to this.
Police officers' job harder now that the people that are breaking the law know that they're facing way bigger penalties?
Yes, you're finding people not like law enforcement even more, which is why, if you've noticed, Cuomo is now very anti-law enforcement.
Yeah.
Right? If you noticed, His Majesty does not like his knights. His Majesty does not like his knights at all. He's unhappy with his foot soldiers. He's unhappy with them. Right? He's mad at them all the time. Why? Because he can be, because of what you just said.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's his will they're enforcing. The worst part is, for most law enforcement, begrudgingly. We have put our law enforcement, anybody in law enforcement besides you who knows this, we put our law enforcement in a situation to where many of them are thinking, do I break my oath or do I feed my family? We've put them in that situation. Shame on us for that. There's not one law enforcement officer, whether you're parole, corrections, state trooper, local sheriff, whatever you are, police force, doesn't matter. No one goes to the academy going, I cannot wait till I can be a profit center. Whoo! No one says that. No one's like, man, I can't wait till I can start writing tickets and raising fees. No one says that. They join because they say, I want to do the right thing. I want to put bad guys away. I want to help. I want to serve. That's why they join. That's why they do it. So why don't we let them? You're totally right. I deal all the time with corrections officers all the time. I deal all the time with state troopers. And state troopers tell me this all the time. They say, Larry, I can't stand that I spend 90% of my time with 10% of the bad people. And I can't stand that when I spend 10% of my time with the good people, it's always punishing them. I hate it. I want to be doing better things. And I'm like, I agree. I want you to also. Something else we can do also, we want to, is we can put actually a cap on how much money from fees and fines that can go to any municipality, a certain amount of dollars. What does that mean? Once you go past X dollars, it no longer goes to the community. There's no financial incentive. What does that mean? Now law enforcement is punishing people because they deserve to be punished, not because my captain gave me a weird look because I haven't written many tickets today. Right? And that happens. If you're in law enforcement, you know that happens. My father was a corrections officer, and I knew a lot of cops. I meet them all the time. They come to our events all the time. Right? I don't want your captain giving you a look because you didn't do enough tickets. I want your captain giving you a look because you're not dealing with the bad guys. Then he should give you that look. Absolutely. Deal with them. That's what I want. So you're totally correct. Right? But I'll jump on corrections officers for a second. We have some corrections officers here. Anybody in corrections here? Someone. There we go. Corrections officers are personal for me in a way because my father was one in Rikers Island years ago. And right now, His Majesty is very much anti-law enforcement in general, specifically anti-corrections. He hasn't given them an actual contract in 3 years. So they're taking zeros. They are like not getting raises, nothing, getting punished. And one of the reasons why he won't give them a contract is they won't agree on, I'm not joking, on how he can punish them. That's part of the contract he's fighting on how he can punish them. I've promised corrections officers I don't care about that clause at all. Let it go. I'll give you a contract. Done. Don't care about that. I'm not focusing on punishing the guys I need to fix the prison system. That doesn't make any sense. That's embarrassingly dumb. But here's the issue. He doesn't want to actually fix the prison system. So that's why he doesn't care. He actually doesn't want to fix it. But not just that. The average CO, the actual life expectancy is 58 years old. 58. We should be ashamed of that. Every CO I've met, everyone knows exactly how much time they have till they're out and done. Everyone. And everyone also knows someone who's committed suicide. That's where we are right now. That's an embarrassment. I will fix that. So when it comes to law enforcement, I will help law enforcement, absolutely. I went a little off track. I apologize for that because you brought it up. But that does go into the taxation piece. But I'm not done with taxes. That's one step. Second, I want to get rid of school tax. That's an entire way. Go ahead, sorry.
Another tax you don't get the vote on.
Go ahead.
School tax.
I was just talking about, yes.
If you own property in a district other than where you live, you don't get to vote on the school budget, but you got to pay the taxes.
Yes, school tax is a big issue. Absolutely. I want to deal with school tax for several reasons. One, because school tax is a way that, again, they will often pass taxation because when you say it's school tax, a lot of people vote yes emotionally. It's an emotional yes. I'm just being very forward with you. It is. And if you've seen it, you do it. How can I say no to the kids? It's school. I can't say no to the kids. It's an emotional yes. So they raise school taxes, which are just property taxes, right, in a certain way, or something like that. They do that in any way, right? So people do it.
You don't pay school tax.
But exactly, that's my point, right? So that they're actually making it property tax by calling it school tax, right? So they actually do that, and it's an emotional piece, and a lot of people vote yes, or pressure people to vote yes who you don't have property? What, you don't like the kids? What about the children? That's what happens. So you're right, I want to get rid of school tax. Our state constitution actually says that the state has to pay for education grades 1 through 12. So my piece is the state should pay straight from the general fund. There should be no funding of schools locally at all. It's a whole different way of funding schools. A whole different way of funding schools completely. It gets rid of school tax, period. Which means all your taxes will all of a sudden, you'll have a surplus. You don't have to have that tax anymore. That will give you tax relief immediately. Does that make sense? You get immediate tax relief right away. The Republican now was saying 30% cut in taxes. I don't know how he's going to do that. That's magic. I hope you don't believe that. I'm not joking. That's literally magic. Let me be clear about I'll go a little bit off, then I'll come back to school tax. Let me be clear on something. If you're a Democrat or Republican, let me ask you real fast. Is anybody comfortable telling me if they are a registered Democrat? Awesome. Any registered Republicans? Awesome. Any registered people who are neither? Awesome. Anybody here who could have but has not voted in the last 2 election cycles? There we go. Every single event I go to, I get that. I ask that question. If you watch my Go Lives, I ask it all the time. I am the only candidate who gets Democrats, Republicans, independents, and those who don't vote. My friends, this is a winnable race. I'm the only one who crosses over. How could I ask that live? You all could have been like, no, and I'd have looked really stupid, right? I would have looked really dumb. But I did it anyway. Why? Because it always happens. I'm sure it'll be one time I'll look dumb once, I'm sure. But it's fine. But every time it happens. So this is all happening. Why do I bring this up? If you're a Democrat, the Democrats have run this state in a statewide level for 16 years. If they were going to fix these problems, they would have fixed them. Right? You got 16 years to fix something. I could fix anything in 16 years. I could fix the Middle East in 16 years. I'm kidding. But anyway, my point is, I could fix anything in 16 years. It's a long time. You could fix them if you're in charge. Republicans have been watching this for 16 years. The current Republican nominee has been in government for over 20 years. Where's his plan? Where's his plan? He thought last week, 30%. You're going to believe that? If that was real, why didn't he push that 5 years ago, 6 years ago, last year, anytime, 6 months ago, anytime? Now he's like, oh, I'm in trouble. I'll throw 30% at you. You'll buy that. Please, guys, stop. If the Republicans actually cared, they would have already had a plan. They would tease me all the time and say, well, Larry, you've only been doing this for a year. Yeah, I was doing regular stuff before this. I was like raising my family and trying to grow my business like everybody else in the state's doing. I've been doing this 1 year. And in 1 year, I have a plan for almost everything and a movement. What do they have? Nothing. They're broken establishment party infrastructure, which is embarrassing. That's all they have. They talk about track record. I hear it all the time. We have a track record. You have a track record of 1 million New Yorkers leaving in 8 years. That's a horrible track record. I'd be embarrassed of that. I wouldn't tell people. I would lie. That's how bad that is.
It's the weather.
Or it's the weather. That's what it is. The weather. That's what it is. Exactly. That's the reason.
Years ago, the state had something going.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, so it's embarrassingly bad. All right, so I know I'm off track, but I want to make sure I get that piece in. I have plans. I will give you ideas. I just gave you ideas, right? And be very forward. If I'm wrong, here's the best part. What if I'm wrong? My plans are not good enough. Help me fix them. I'm happy to be wrong. If you think I don't have the right answer, and I was on a radio show talking about my education program, and I'll cover that right now. Talk about school tax. Talk about my education program, and I was talking about how I want to more localize it, give more power to the actual teachers, let teachers teach, and I have a real plan to make that happen. And the teacher called up and she said, Larry, you don't understand. The problem we have here with teaching is I got kids coming into the schools, they're 4 and 5 years old, and know nothing. They don't know their numbers, they don't know their colors, they don't know nothing. I said, wow, that's terrible. You're a teacher? Yes. I said, how can we fix that? What did I do? I asked the person who's right there what she thought was the right answer. If we want prison reform, maybe we should ask the COs how to fix it because they're right there. If I want education reform, maybe I should ask the teachers what they think. That's how business works, by the way. For those of you who don't know what I do for a living, I do that. I help businesses. I've been in the office in a public company a couple times. When you go in, it's TV when they go, all right, I know everything, change everything. That's TV and movies. In reality, you're going, how do we fix this? Guys, help me. So you actually do. So I asked her, I said, what do you think you should do? She said, I think we should pay the parents. We should give them 50 or 100 bucks if their kids come in and pass a test. And I thought to myself, what a terrible idea. That's what I thought. Seriously, that's what I thought. Because if you, I did it, it was actually done live. We did a go live. It was on a radio station. So you can see my face like, literally, I was like, and then you know what I told her? Give it a shot. That's what I said. I thought to myself, terrible idea. But then I said, you know what? When I'm governor, give it a shot. That's what I told her. And this is, again, you can see this is a radio show. It's on my Facebook page. I said, give it a shot. Why? Because I may be wrong. Because I'm not a teacher. Because I don't know best. Maybe she's right. She's there. And if it's local and only her money, which I'll cover that in a second, if it's only her money, not affecting anybody else, and that school district says we should try this, let them try it. Because one of two things is true. They're right. It's an amazing program. All the kids do great. I'm wrong. Awesome. I'm happily wrong. And every other school district that wants to can copy it. Happier kids means happier teachers means happier parents. Life is good. Or I'm right, it's a bad idea. And they throw some money away, which is bad. But only they throw it away. Their money, they chose to. And now with transparency, everyone else sees it and goes, oh yeah, we shouldn't do that. I'm serious. I talk the talk, but I also want to walk the walk. When I say let teachers teach, let them teach. When I say localization, I mean localization. I thought bad idea, but I could be wrong. Another teacher one time come to me at an event and say, Larry, get mad at me. Larry, how long you been in classrooms? How long have you been a teacher? And I said, oh, are you telling me you've been around? Yes. I said, do you have an idea maybe to fix my plan? Well, I want to know how long you've been around. I said, look, if you're trying to measure my plan against perfection, it's going to fail. I'm not perfect. None of us are. I measure my plan against status quo. What's happening now? What's the alternative? Here's the alternative for education for Democrats, Republicans. Done. That's the alternative. There is none. Raise taxes. That's the alternative. Mine is an actual plan, which I'll cover in a second. But there, I have a plan. So I told her, I was very forward. Again, this is on video. I said, if you're here to give me help to fix it, I'm all ears. I am ready. Teach me. I'll bring you aboard my campaign. I'll put you in my cabinet. I don't care. Help me to fix this. I'm in. I want happy New Yorkers. You can have all the, we'll name it after you. But if you're just here to say I'm wrong or poke holes, you can go away. And she went away. Yes, because if you just want to say, Larry, I don't like this or like that, great, help me to fix it. I just want to be mean. Go away. I don't need you. Go vote red or blue, and we can keep the same death spiral we have now. And we can keep dying. And you can be righteous and shake your fist. I was righteous as you're packing your U-Haul to go to North Carolina. You can righteously drive away. That's all you can do. I don't want to move. I don't want you to move. I want you to stay. We can repair this. So I talk the talk, and I'm trying to walk the walk too. Let me give. Can I go to education now? Is that okay? Oh, go ahead.
Before you fully go into
Go ahead.
education, back to unfunded mandates.
Please.
How do you plan to reduce the number of people on Medicaid
Yes.
that don't belong on Medicaid, on EBT that don't belong?
So hard. Yes.
Do you support drug testing those who are on public assistance and illegal aliens receiving benefits from our taxes? What do you plan to do?
Yeah. Wow, you just threw a whole bunch at me. All right. Education is going to go on the back burner, guys. Which is more important right now, education or this? This is. All right. So with this, with education afterwards. All right. So the problem with these issues, again, to be forward, all these issues, to include taxation, to include education, have been 30 years in the making. So there is no single, I'll press the fix button. There are many things we must do to fix this. I'm going to give you many things, but remember something. Any one thing is not going to fix this. It's multiple faceted. Does that make sense? We must do many things to fix this. Secondly, this is a cultural issue. It's not just legal, it's also cultural, which means it will take years to break the culture. So let me touch this now. First, do I support drug testing? No. Why? It doesn't make any sense. Here's the reason why. They've tried this before. It costs more to do the drug testing than we save by the people who are on it. We spend more money. It's righteous. I agree. It is. It is righteous. We'll show you. I get that completely. It doesn't work. It simply spends more money. We actually lose money doing it. It would actually be better, a more effective way of doing it would be to provide two things. One, more opportunity for people, and two, more transparency in the system to show how bad it is. That's far more effective than drug testing. So if I'm going to spend my time, money, and energy, I've got to focus it on these two concepts. More opportunities, and on top of that, more transparency. Because there are a lot of people who have no idea. And I found out most of this by traveling, believe it or not, this last year, on how bad the fraud, waste, and abuse is in the system. I had no idea how bad it was. You're right, it's bad. But my point is, I didn't know, which means transparency is far more important. Most people believe, if you ask the average person, well, it's fine because Medicaid and Medicare is just helping people and no one's taking advantage of it. I'm serious. I'm not joking. Serious. You're here because you care. There's millions of New Yorkers who aren't here. They think it's fine. They think it's okay. So to ask your first question, no, and that's my reason behind it. It doesn't make any financial sense. And again, the data is in. We've done it before. In city and state, it fails. It does not pay for itself at all. You lose money. And if you make one mistake, it's a lawsuit. You make one mistake, the state pays literally millions of dollars. Literally will settle for millions of dollars to someone who is on public assistance. Yes, the system does not work. It feels good, I know. It just doesn't work. It costs us more, and we start rewarding people with millions of dollars because they sue us. So it doesn't work. We'd have to revamp culture before we can do that. And that hasn't happened yet. So that's step one. Next piece. What I want to do is, the problem with most of these systems is they're federal. So it's very hard for a governor to fix them in general. But there are two ways we can get around it. Number one, we can stop the counties from paying for it. Right? Counties don't have to pay for it. The state has to pay for it. New York State has decided you must pay for it. This is part of the unfunded mandates piece, right? You must pay for it. That's not required. The state can do it. I think the state should do it because then it can be easier. Because the problem is, once you add county and state, transparency goes away. It becomes cloudy. I want you to see exactly who's doing what and how and where every dollar is going. When that begins to happen, all of a sudden everyone begins to see. I'm all about fixing the root of a problem and not the branch. So the next step is transparency. To be forward, even that's not enough. While that is a piece, it's not enough. We have to do other things to make people who are abusing the system actually become afraid. And when it goes back to the idea we talked about earlier about debt, let me explain this real fast. I want to take Medicaid right now. Right now with Medicaid, the co-pays right now are $1 and $3. So $1 if you go to a doctor, $3 if you do emergency room. So they are right now. They should be raised to $12 and $36. Now people say, wow, it's a huge change. Yes. For those of you who've been around, you know that right now you have people in Medicaid who are using our EMTs and our ambulances like taxis. All the time. They actually call them frequent flyers. Why? It costs $3. Cheaper than Uber. Why wouldn't you do it? We've made a system that says, please abuse it. Our system says, please abuse it, so people abuse it. What's wrong with us? $36 and $12. Massive change, I know. But $36, you won't now go, oh, I think I hurt my back. Drop me off by my sister's house. That won't happen anymore. That will stop. Now, the argument I get all the time is, Larry, it's going to keep going because we never chase these guys for money. The Medicaid people don't pay, and we never chase them. That's true, because it's $3. Who's going to chase somebody for $3? You could do it literally every week, 52 times. It's $150. Who's chasing you for that? You're not. Make it $36. Do that 52 times. That's a lot of money. Guess who'll take that? Debt collectors will buy the debt. And these are people who their job is to chase people. They buy and sell debt. It's their job. That's what they do for a living. Buying and selling debt is their job. They'll begin to buy that debt. When they buy that debt, guess what? The county gets money. When the county sells the debt, the municipality gets money. When it sells the debt, it's no longer just we have to pay from our taxes. No, you now get its income now. Huh, okay, I like that, number one. But number two, now once these people who are abusing it know there's repercussions for them doing this, they will eventually stop. Initially, they won't because it's habit, and they've been abusing the system for years, some of them decades. They're not going to stop because Governor Sharpe says. That's not going to happen. They're going to do it anyway. But eventually, when a couple of them go, my God, they're actually chasing me down for this. My God, there's repercussions for me taking advantage of the system. They'll begin to stop. That might take weeks. That might take months. It might take over a year. It might. But the point is, it will stop. So that will begin to stop. That culture of, wait a minute, if we abuse the system, we don't get away with it, will begin to stop. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh, no, I just said that I had a couple friends that actually, they laid off and they got put on the systems to help.
Yep.
They actually had to fight to get off of it.
Yes, I was.
They
Yes.
got a good job. They didn't want it anymore. And Medicaid and all them were fighting to keep them on the system.
There's the next piece. Yes, I got it. Yes, as I said, this is a lot. This is a broken system, my friend. Your question is a valid one, and it is broken at so many levels. That too. Remember, the people who work in Medicaid, Medicare, what's their job? To give money. That's their job. So when you're not taking money, literally, they're losing the customer. I'm not joking. The incentive is not to help people. The incentive is to give money. You must re-incentivize the people to actually help them, not to just give them money. What government is very good at is checking a box. Really good at that. That's a skill set government has. Really good. Did you do this? We did. Box checked. Yes. Very good at that. They're not really good at actually helping. Not their skill set. They do sometimes just by mistake. Sometimes they actually help by mistake. This happened. But they're very good at checking boxes. So you're totally correct. So now the problem is the next piece. You have people, to be forward with you, there are people who are abusing the system. Absolutely. And there are also people who get in trouble and need it and use it and get back on their feet. The problem is there's not enough of them. That's the problem. There aren't enough of those people who get in trouble, use the system, and then get back on their feet. Why? Because what you just said. The system's against them. In fact, I'll go one step further. If you're a single mom with 2 kids, you'd be a fool to work. It sounds horrible. I'm sorry. I know that sounds terrible, but it's true. The system is set up so that if you're a single mom with 2 kids and you work, you're a fool. You will bust your rump, not see your kids, and make less money. That's how it works. Terrible. We have to change the system. Now, as a general rule, again, most of that's federal. I can be the bully pulpit. I can talk about it a lot to fix it, but I can also make it streamlined from the state so that it can be shown how bad it is so that we can begin to work and change things. But that's still not enough. On top of that, I got to create more opportunity for people to actually begin to work. More opportunity means more people choosing to work. Because if more people choose to work, the culture will change to where others will begin to do it. Here's the issue. If the only job you can get that pays anything is $12 an hour, or you can get $1,200 a month from disability, why would you work? That's all it's there. And once you get that job, you lose all your benefits. How about instead we create an insurance product at the state level, private insurance product that we could actually buy, that companies could actually put up if they wanted to, where it would be a 2-for-1. So for every time you pass that benefit where you lose your benefits, for every $2 you make, you lose $1 in benefit. Allowing someone to actually work their way off of public assistance. We don't have, that system does not exist now. Why doesn't it? It should. You should be able to get a job and work your way off of public assistance. Here's the issue. What happens if you get disabled? What happens if you're a construction worker, you get disabled, you get a back injury, whatever the case may be. Okay, you can't do construction anymore, but maybe you can drive. Maybe you can do office work. Maybe you can do security. Insert thing here. There may be other jobs you can do, and lots of people want to work. So how about if you get that job, the new job you get is a new field, you're not an expert, you're not going to get a great salary when you start, so you've got to work your way up in this new field, whatever that thing is, medical billing, insert thing. You've now got to start working your way up. As you work your way up, how about for every $2 you gain, you only lose $1 of benefit. You can slowly work your way off of everything. Doesn't exist. We can create that here. That can happen. How about childcare? Now again, I know I'm talking many things because it will take that many things to fix this horrible system. Right? How about childcare? Right now, childcare is expensive. And those of you who have kids, it's expensive. But let me ask you a question. Rachel, you have kids, right? There's one right there. Exactly right. Yeah. No, I love it. You've got kids. I love it. No, it's all good. So if you want to go to the park with your lovely daughter right now, I have a daughter too. If I said, do me a favor, take my daughter with you and go play in the park, and she says yes and I say yes, does she require a special license for that? No. No license at all. And she's got my kid. And they're in the park. No license. I love that. Why don't we extend that to nonprofits? We call it child gardens. You're a nonprofit. You're a local church. You're a VFW, American Legion, some nonprofit. If you want to, it is your choice. If you want, you can drop your kid off at your local church, child garden, not child care, totally different, right? So child garden, and go to work. And the church can charge you whatever the church wants to. What will the church probably charge you? Show up on Sunday. And there's bingo night on Thursday. Come call the numbers. And there are lots of people, thousands of people, particularly mothers, who would happily show up Thursday night, call bingo, and show up on Sunday with their family to have childcare for a week. Happily. And churches would happily do it. How do I know that? Some of you old enough to remember, lots of churches used to have childcare. Yes, lots used to. Then they got regulated out. So they couldn't afford it anymore. It went down to 1 or 2 days a week or 3 hours because of some, yeah, remember? There's some, yeah. How about, it's not childcare, it's child garden. But Larry, childcare, they need licenses, blah, blah. You can still keep childcare. I'm not getting rid of childcare. If you don't trust your church or VFW, do not drop your kid up there. It is your choice. If you'd rather go to a licensed professional, please go there. All I'm saying is, now you have a choice. You have an option now. You might say, well, church, yes, but I want background checks. Church, fine, the church do background checks. Whatever you want. Negotiate with your VFW, negotiate with your church. You know, this can help local small churches, particularly black churches in the black community. They're dying. What a great way to get people back into the church. Support these nonprofits. Wouldn't that be awesome? People show up. What you need in nonprofits, more than money, you need money, but you need bodies, people to do stuff, to show up, to help people. Support your local community. These are ideas we can work on. That can all of a sudden happen too. Now someone will have a chance. Here's what you should remember though. Even when I do this, most of the people will not take advantage of it. They won't. But some will. The early adopters will jump on board. And as they jump on board, others will see it. Right now, here's the cultural issue. The cultural issue is this. Don't get a job, man. Maury's on. Let's go watch Maury. Why are you getting a job? It's for suckers. Let's go watch Maury. It's the other father one, man. I love that one. Yes. Right? I love the Who's the Father one. That's awesome. Let's go watch that one. That's what it is right now. But all of a sudden now, we saw him get a job. And we start going, well, he's working. Well, maybe I should work too. Well, he's got that 2-for-1 thing, and he dropped his kids off at the church. He's like, making money. Yeah, I'm going to do that too. Then you start feeling dumb because everybody else is going. Now, to be fair with you guys, that's not 1 week. That's months or even years. But it's a cultural issue we have to change. We start doing that, and then throw the last piece on, which is transparency, and showing everybody where all that money is going. Showing everybody how, what you just said, how you can't get off. I'll be the guy yelling about this. I'll be the guy with the microphone in his face saying exactly what you just told me. I'll be saying those things. When we see that, there will be a change. When enough of us begin to care again, when 70% of us don't stay home on voting day, on election day, we actually show up, things will change. We can make a change. You made a valid, it's a very important question. It is. There's no simple answer. There's a long answer. But I'm telling you, I'm prepared to go through that. I will make that change. I will turn us in the right direction, and I will fix that. It will take me several years, but it's not perfect. Here's the alternative to that. Done. There's no alternative. No one's providing another answer. Their answer is one of two things, for education and for that. Two words you'll hear. If you're a Republican, what you will hear is, we have to invest. If you're a Democrat, you'll hear, we have to fund. What do those two words actually mean? Taxes. Taxes is what they actually mean. Republicans have a better word. Sounds nicer. Same word, taxes. Note everything I said included no new taxes and instead included more revenue back to the actual state without you paying taxes. Everyone does that. I know it wasn't perfect, but did it at least answer your question?
It did. I like the idea of fixing it from the root up rather than the branch.
Absolutely. Thank you. Good. Go ahead.
Why should the seniors vote for you in this state?
Ah, good. I love it. Because if you don't vote for me, you're moving away. That's why. Yes. That's the reason. We were ranked 50th in friendliness for retirement. We are the least.
Most of us don't want to move away. This is where our kids are, our grandkids are.
You're looking at the only guy who cares.
What incentive in your program is for us to stay here?
I love it. I'll give you several things. Number one, you just said about your family. Let me touch that piece first. I talked about taxes already. So first off, let me go personal, then I'll go your family. You personally, we're going to lower your tax burden. Right? We're going to lower your tax burden off the bat. I talked about already. We're going to start getting rid of unfunded mandates. And this is going to sound crazy. It sounds stereotypical, but it's just true. When we get rid of unfunded mandates, it will require more people to show up to vote and help with the budget, right? Because you're starting your budget now every year at zero. And that is a fantasy that people can't even understand, imagine at zero, right? Starting your budget at zero, which means we'll need, it's insane. Which means we need more help from people to fix the budget. Who's going to be there?
Seniors.
You got it.
No one's a vote.
That's correct. Seniors are going to be there. You are going to get more control directly over your budget.
We will vote.
That's correct.
I love you young people.
Yes.
We will
Yes.
vote
Yes.
10 times as much
But
as
not
you
just voting. You're going to show up for the committee meetings. You're going to show up for all those things. I know that sounds so stereotypical, but it's true. You're going to show up to all those meetings. You're going to show up to all those committee issues. You're going to be the ones doing the research. You're going to come in with all the deep paper. And this is how this works. And according to line 3, that's going to be you and all the seniors. I've seen it happen. That's what happens.
But we're also from a generation. We don't like Big Brother in our business.
Yes.
We don't like government telling us what we can and can't do.
You know I'm a libertarian, right? You're literally speaking my language. You are literally speaking my language.
What you're saying, but I guess my question.
I wasn't finished, but go ahead. Can I finish?
Yes.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Guys, I wish I can give you sound bites, but sound bites don't help. I got to give you some real meat.
Yeah.
I have to, and it takes time, which is why I do the long form. Have any of you guys seen my interviews on like Dave Rubin or Joe Rogan or Reason Magazine? I'm actually doing Glenn Beck, I think, in 2 weeks, an hour and a half. I do long form constantly because this state is tired of sound bites, and we've been broken for 30 years. Yes. There's no soundbite answer. You have to have a real long-term plan to fix things. So the first thing is, once you have unfunded mandates go away, you are going to have more actual control of your budget. That's number one. And seniors will have more control than others because you'll physically be there. That's number one. But number two, lowering your taxes. What does that mean? I'm going to get rid, I haven't gone to education yet, but I will. We're going to get rid of school taxes. School taxes go away, which will lower taxes by default. It'll be a whole much easier for you to deal with taxation in general. But now I'll go off of you. I'll go just to, can you grab that? There we go, yeah. So I'll go to your family. If you want your family to stay here, and you don't want the next kid who goes to college to get their education and then leave, you have to create a better environment for them to be here. I will do that by supporting small business, by changing education, by actually making it to where we stop bribing big business to show up in this state and instead support small business to grow. I will encourage new ideas and new concepts that keep the youth here. I want us to embrace things like Bitcoin, like cryptocurrency, hemp, cannabis, Uber, Airbnb, all the new cool things that kids want. I want to do that here. Not just that. When it comes to just upstate, not downstate, I literally want to revamp the entire Erie Canal. The whole thing. And I want to put hovercraft on it. I'm not joking. Hovercraft. When I was in the Marine Corps, we had a hovercraft that could take a tank across the ocean. That was 30 years ago. We can't do something cool now? Yeah, we can. Why hovercraft? Because it's cool. Sir, if you don't mind, please mind the camera behind you. Sir, cameraman. You, yes, please mind that one. Thank you. Yes. So, sorry, just make sure you hear me, that's all. Yes. And use hovercraft in the winter, whatever. My point is, people say, well, Larry, how are you going to pay for that? I'll tell you I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to lower your taxes by raising revenue through other ways. There are about 36 locks on the Erie Canal. About 36, and over 500 miles of Erie Canal. We can name every lock. We can lease naming rights for every lock and make each one a tourist trap. I mean tourist site. Yes, each one of those can be a tourist site. Yes, each one. McDonald's can buy a bunch of them. They want to, can lease a bunch of them. Like Taco Bell, I don't care. Whatever's the cool thing. All of a sudden now we got a bunch of money coming in, revamping the Erie Canal. We can lease the rights to go up and down. Someone's got to put their name on the cool hovercraft. Seriously, right? Someone's put their name on it. And here's the most important piece. Someone's got to fix the hovercraft. Someone's got to build the hovercraft. Someone's got to figure out how the locks work with the hovercraft going through each piece. I don't know how. They'll figure it out. We might have to open or widen it or make it deeper or I don't know. Who cares? They'll figure it out. That's the point. It'll be exciting and new and different. And that's what I want. And the youth will come and they will stay. We have to make sure that if you're local, people want to stay local, right? Wyoming has a rule right now that if you are a local farmer and you only sell locally, you are immune from all federal regulatory bodies. We should add that here in New York State for every small business, period. Doesn't matter. These are the types of things that will keep the youth here. We do that, they'll want to stay. Did I answer some of your question now? Yeah, oh, I'm winning. Yes, I'm winning, yes. Can I, okay, yes. I'm not getting education, am I? Okay, go ahead.
Talk about black churches.
Yes.
How are you doing with blacks and why?
As a general rule, I'm not doing anywhere near as I could because the black population tends to vote Democrat. And sadly, blindly. Sadly, blindly. I'm doing better than most because I am black. I am from the Bronx in Manhattan. And yes, I am. Just a fact, in case you didn't know that. I am. Yes. I am. Yes. Yes. It's true. Shocker. Larry Sharpe admits he's black. It's true, yes. So yes. So yes, I'm doing better than most, but not great. Black people tend to, look, the black community tends to vote Democrat. But I am breaking some of those barriers, right? I have dealt with many black churches down in New York City. I've spent time in the black community. I have family that's black. Most of them, sadly, are no longer in New York. That's the sad part. They're not in New York anymore. So my family that's black is not in New York. So that's a bad thing. But yes, but so I am part of the community, but nowhere near as good as I could. Did I answer your question? Yes. All right. Can I go to education or no? Do you have a question or comment? Okay, yes. But there is an advantage with that, but since you brought that up. And the advantage is the black community heavily went towards Cynthia Nixon. Right? Many votes in the black community went to Cynthia Nixon. Now she's gone. Many don't like Cuomo. Some will come to me. Some will come to me. Not just because of race, but two, there is identity politics. It will be because of race also. But it also will become, I'm the anti-Cuomo. So that will also happen. Yes, I'm the anti-Cuomo. So that will also, so I will get some. So, can I go to education or something else?
I have one more tax.
Please.
You do talk about tax a lot, but the one thing I haven't heard anybody talk about is the number of people and businesses that are tax exempt, and how do we actually, I personally am not objective to paying taxes. I don't mind supporting my community.
I don't like paying taxes.
everybody to pay instead of having
Yes.
80% of businesses tax exempt in our
Yes.
county.
And the issue is two things. Two issues when it comes to that kind of tax. Number one, simplified tax code. This is most important. If we simplify the tax code, we actually make it to where small businesses are better off than big businesses. Why? A simple tax code means two things. One, big business will actually pay more as a percentage. Because right now they literally have armies of people who go through and find loopholes so they can cut their taxes down. So they will pay a whole lot less, right? Now small businesses usually pay the right amount of taxes. The problem is they often make mistakes because it's so complex. They make a mistake, what happens? They pay a fine or a fee. So the small companies get hammered with a fine or a fee. And the fine or a fee is usually put together by big business. So the fee for them is $20,000. They deal with it. For a small business owner, he or she is finished. That will end. A $20,000 fine will finish off a business. A small business, they're done. So that's one problem. But it's the second piece. I say it again all the time. Transparency. Most people have no idea the people who don't pay taxes. No clue. I am literally going to have an office of transparency. That office is made specifically for people to call in and say, hey, this is bad. Can we shine a light on this? That's its actual job. Right now when you do that, you do a FOIA request, it gets ignored. Ignored all the time. The norm is ignored. That's the normal. You say, I want something from my local community. I don't know what happened. The norm is you get nothing. That's the norm. You get stonewalled. That will go away when I'm governor. It'll be transparent so there's no tomorrow. When that begins to happen and you say these things, if you want to end bad behavior, the right thing to do is shine a light on it, as he's doing right now. Yes. I guess I have bad behavior. Shine a light on me. Yes. You shine a light on bad behavior, you'll see it change. So simplification's number one. Transparency's number two. You will see things begin to change. Because we want people to be treated fairly, equally, right? And some people are not paying taxes based upon a loophole. Once you shine a light on that and or get rid of the loophole because of simplicity, that will begin to go away. Now be forward. Can I stop corruption? No. Can I make it less? Absolutely. Can I make it be fixed and changed faster? Absolutely. Can I make it caught easier? Yes. Because here's the issue. When people are doing something corrupt, they don't do this. They don't go, are we going to get 10 years for this or 5? They don't do that. What they do is they say, are we going to get caught? What do you think? If she goes, yeah, I go, we don't do it. They're concerned about being caught. The more transparent your environment, the less chance you'll be corrupt. Because the more chance you'll believe you'll get caught. Did I answer your question at least? Yes. Good, excellent. All right, so let me go, if I could, to education. The people that ask about it, let me just do it real fast. Well, it doesn't go real fast. Let me just do it. All right. I tend to be long-winded, in case you hadn't noticed. And the reason why I'm long-winded is I actually have answers. Shocking. So, all right, first thing, education is completely broken. It must be changed in every way, shape, or form. The first piece is I want no standardized testing until high school. All goes away. Standardized testing is nothing but bad. It's an unfair way of rating teachers. It's an unfair way of rewarding schools. It actually makes kids who are 10, yes, I'm gonna cover that too. You got it, you and me, we're there. All right, yes, it also makes kids who are 10, 11, and 12 years old who don't test well feel stupid. Now they get labeled and now they act out. Nothing but bad. And the worst part of all of this, it's no indication of success in the future at all. You can be a great test taker at 10 or 11 or a terrible test taker at 10 or 11. It does not mean you're gonna be doing well at life at all. It's irrelevant. It should go away. Why doesn't it go away? You just said it. Cash. Yes, that's what that meant, right? Money? Yes, yeah.
What it costs to do the testing.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of money. Tons of money in it. Money for people who are getting paid and many people who are getting money from the federal government. You do that and what will happen? The federal government will be upset and will not want to give us money. We will lose about $4 billion. The entire budget for education is about $60 billion. We will lose about $4 billion from the federal government. But I got that covered. I will fix that for you. But we'll lose that. That will go away. I'm okay with that because when we lose federal money, we also lose federal strings. Yay! When we lose federal strings, what do we lose? Administrators who are checking boxes. Lots of checkbox administrators. Tons owe them. I'm happy if many of them go away. I don't mind at all. Now, this will not be my job to decide. It will be a local school district's job to decide. So if you have talented administrators, and I know we do, you can keep the talented administrators. Those that aren't talented administrators, you can get rid of. Why would you want to? The average school teacher in New York State makes about $80K. That's the average. Some make less, some make more, but around about $80K is the average. The average administrator makes over 6 figures. You get rid of 2 administrators, you just hire 3 new teachers. Or give teachers raises, or bought new computers, or insert thing here. I don't know what you need in your school district. You do. Do you need a new Spanish teacher? Hire a Spanish teacher. More computers? Do that. Not my issue. You fix it. My number 1 issue is transparency. We must see where the money's going. Number 1. All right, not just that. So we lose that, and we also lose Common Core. Good. I don't care. Let it go. Don't care. Yes, you can clap for that. Don't mind at all. Yes, absolutely. We have to lose. Here's the issue. I'm not against Common Core. I'm against the mandate that forces a teacher to use Common Core. Right? There are, if you're in education, there's a small percentage of kids who actually do learn better on Common Core. If you happen to have that kid in your class and you're a teacher and you think Common Core is a way of teaching them, please use Common Core for that kid. But guess what? You're the teacher. You know better than I do. You choose. Teach the kids 2 + 2 is 4. How you do that, I'm not concerned. Right? You're the teacher. If you can't fix it, I know I can't. If you look right now, what is the answer for the Republicans? Well, we'll find deficiencies, and whenever you hear fraud, waste, and abuse or efficiencies, here's what that actually means. Nothing. We will do nothing. Every time you've heard efficiencies, fraud, waste, and abuse without any plan, what has always happened? Every time? Nothing.
Well, a lot of times there's like a commission that they pay somebody a lot of money, give them answers, and then they never do anything.
Nothing. Yes, it's correct.
It's expensive now.
It is, I'm sorry, you're right. Expensive nothing. I apologize, yes. So there'll be nothing, but sometimes it'll be expensive nothing. That's what that means, nothing. So that's worthless. Or the other one is, you heard, right now, His Majesty, King Andrew, he is so proud. Oh, he's so proud. We spend the most money of anybody on education and have a horrible system. He's proud of that. And now we're going to make this next thing. We're going to make it to where now teachers will have community things and training more teachers. So to be clear, people who don't teach are going to teach teachers how to teach better. Literally, that's his plan. That is literally his plan. Check it. I'm not making this up. His plan is people who don't teach are going to teach current teachers how to teach better.
Why don't we just leave it there?
Oh!
Years ago, we had teachers who actually taught something.
Yeah!
Learn. Forget the test.
Yes! I'm the only candidate that literally says, let teachers teach, then I don't add administrators. I, in fact, remove them. We actually have counties right now that have more administrators than teachers.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a fact, guys. More administrators than teachers. So I'm not done yet. That's the big chunk, but I keep going. I want to get rid of K through 12. It should be K through 10. K through 12 is an anachronism and shouldn't exist anymore. The last 2 years of high school for too many of our kids is gym, study hall, video games, and probably smoking weed. Those are the last 2 years, those 4 things. Look, the heads are nodding. I'm not making this up. It's true. It's happening. I'm telling you what's actually happening. No one else is going to say that. They're going to say, oh, let's fund and invest in education and we love, blah, blah. Something makes no sense and has no value. I'm telling you what's actually happening. How do we know this? If you've been to college recently, the first year of college is 13th grade. It is, because the kids are not ready for college. It's 13th grade. That's a problem. And the average kid now takes 6 years to graduate. What's our answer? Free college. Free bad education. Free 6 years. And then we force you to stay in the state for 4 more years when there's no jobs for you. That's our plan? That's an embarrassment. Again, an embarrassment. Yeah, exactly. It is, yeah, it is free, so I guess, yeah. So yeah, but that's my point. Thank you. Yes, that's what's happening. And here's what you have now. You have kids who are now 24 years old, who've never had a job, and we wonder, why do they have no work ethic? I don't get it. Or worse, 24 years old, they have a degree that has no value in the real world, $100,000 in debt, and they're working at Starbucks. Wow. Now you say, well, Larry, there's always BOCES. I love BOCES. I think BOCES is amazing. The problem is the image is horrible. Because everybody who's in the system goes, oh, don't go to BOCES. That's for the bad kids or the dumb kids. Well, the dumb kid is 24 because he went to BOCES. He's a plumber. He makes 80 grand a year at least and has no debt. That's a pretty smart dumb kid. For a dumb kid, he's pretty smart. That's all I'm saying. I'd rather be him. So we can change this. first thing I want to do is once you're 16, take your test. Whether you're homeschooled, private school, public school, don't care. You pass your test. There's your high school diploma. Go. Now you have 5 options. Option 1. College is not by default bad. The problem is we've been told a lie that it's the only way to success. It's not. It's a way to success. And if you think that's right for you at 16, or your child at 16, a woman who's a senior citizen, her grandkid or her child at 16, right? You think that's an option, go to a 2-year prep school. 2-year prep school to prep you for the school you want to go to. I'm going into art, I'm going to history, I'm going into mathematics, I'm going into science, I'm going into business, I'm going into whatever. Logistics, medical, law. 2-year prep school, so that when you hit that school, you are rocking and rolling. You know exactly what you're doing. You're prepared to do the work you need to do. You can maybe graduate in 3 years. You can take advantage of internship, take advantage of incubators. You can rock and roll. Get some real on-the-job training while you're in school. Come out ready to go. Option 1. Option 2. You're the super smart kid. You're the kid who's a brainiac. You can test better than anybody. You're the most book-smart kid in the world. Awesome. Take your SAT now. Go right to college now. Get a 2-year associate's degree by the time you're 18. You're going to be a scientist anyway. Touch your doctorate. Go. Life is good. Go. You're that good. You don't like that stuff. You don't care about any of that stuff. Great. Go to trade school. 2-year trade school. Become a plumber, a mechanic, carpenter, insert thing here. Whatever you like, do it. HVAC guy. You pick it. Doesn't matter. Do your thing. Now you're 18. Depending on what you're doing, you either have a license or an apprenticeship. Boom. Ready to rock and roll. This state desperately needs trades. Desperately needs trades. And we have literally have kids thrown 10 years of their life away. How many people do you know who've gone to college, hated it, took them 6, 7, 8 years to graduate, hated it, can't get a good job, then at 28 years old go, I really just want to fix cars. Yes, this happens all across our state. I really just want to build houses. I just want to build houses, man. Why am I? We threw away 10 years of their life.
We program these kids that I'm in a diesel trade.
Gosh, you know.
Find anybody.
You know.
There's nobody there.
Yes. Why do you think we need so much foreign labor?
There's nobody
Why
there.
do you? Because we can't fill the bill. You're right. You know how many people who've told me, how many people who are small business owners who say what you just said? They say, Larry, I will hire anybody with a work ethic. I will hire anybody. I don't care if they got a degree. I don't care how much experience they got. You got a work ethic. If I tell you come in at 8 and you actually show up at 8, you're hired.
Good.
I'm serious. People tell me that all the time, right? I said 8. You're here at like 75. You're hired. You're in. We can't find them. The average tradesman in this state is 50.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Not that I don't love my 50. I'm 50. I love people who are 50. They're amazing. But I don't want that to be the average for trades. The average should be 35. 30 should be the average.
You can't train them in time.
You can't train them. There's no one to train. You're right. It's a problem, and it's our system that's broken it. We can fix that system with trade schools.
We had them in high school. We had trades.
Not anymore.
We used to. I know.
Yes, not anymore. We can change the system. But not just that. Say you don't want any of that. I have an idea. Get a job. Yes, get a job. I worked at 16. Work at 16. Learn what it means to have a boss. Learn what it means when he says 8, he doesn't mean 9:30. He means 7:45. Learn that at 16. So by the time you're 18, 19, 20, you know what it means to have a boss. You know what it means to show up on time and get a job done. You figured that out by now. You could do that. But more importantly, if you're 16, you can work for a lower wage. You're living at home. Again, less need for foreign labor. New Yorkers can fill those bills. Kids aren't staying home playing video games. They got to go out and work and do something. They go out and do something. They have purpose. They can go do something. This can actually work. And they can make some money on top of it. Let them know what it is to get taxed. At 16. Oh, what happened? I thought I was making $10 an hour. No, you're not. No, you're not. Right? When you got paid, you and Andrew got paid. You both got paid that day. You and Andrew both got paid. Yes, that's how that works. It's true, right? You both got paid. Yes. So that's my whole point. They can learn that. Last, start a business. Go start a business. You're 16. Start selling shirts online. I don't care. Do your thing. I don't care what you do. But get busy. Do something. Just go do something. Now I get 2 pieces of pushback. The first one is, Larry, they're young. They're 16. And I say the same thing every time. Good. Let them make mistakes at 16. Let it. The price for failure at 16 is nothing compared to the price for failure at 26. And we have a lot of kids who are failing now at 26 and going back home. Lots of them. Going back home at 26. They're failing at 26. Fail at 16. You fail at 16, mom and dad are there. Come on, I got you. You failed, I got you. Let's fix this, let's get back. Oh, you didn't like that? Try something else. I got you, we can do this. 26, you're hurting. It's a problem. We have a generation of people who are in their 20s right now who, if you ask them if they feel like an adult, over half will say no. There's a thing right now called adulting. Heard that before? Yeah, adulting. Because they don't, yes, you know it, because people don't feel like they're adults. They're acting like adults. This is a problem. I can't change parenting, but I can change the culture, the environment. Yes, I can, and I will. So we can do that. Next thing I hear, Larry, how are you going to pay for it? Grossly simple. I was a Marine. When I got out of the Marine Corps, they gave me a GI Bill. They said, you got X number of dollars, and Y number of years to use it, good luck. We're going to give every kid at 16 the equivalent, an education bill, ED bill, whatever you want. Good. The cool kid bill. I love that one. The cool kid bill, right? So they get $20,000, 7 years to use it. Good luck. Here's what I promise. No, not for business. It's only for a school. Business, you're on your own. Right? Business on your own. But that'll be fine. There'll be people who will give loans for businesses. That'll happen. That will pop up also. Because here's how I know that. If you look, particularly in New York City, there's an industry for startup capital. There's literally an industry for startup capital. If we actually had it to where kids were doing it, there'd be an industry for that too. It'll pop up, because it always does. I'm going to tell you what else will pop up. A bunch of very cool trade schools will pop up. And guess how much they'll cost for 2 years? You got it, $20,000. Yes, they will. And a bunch of great prep schools will pop up. Guess how much they'll cost for 2 years? $20,000. Yes, they will, because it's government money. We have to pay for it. By Constitution, we must pay for it. Now, you might say, well, Larry, how are people going to find the money to build these schools? Will a bank give them a loan when they're guaranteed government money? Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. You're guaranteed $20,000 check from every kid coming out of New York State. Yeah. They'll give you a loan, of course. They'll pop up all over the place. But here's the best part. How much are we paying right now per kid, per year? $22,000. With this, how much are we paying per kid per year? 10. We're saving $12,000 per kid. There's about 400,000 11th and 12th graders in New York State. I just covered my $4 billion in the federal government plus more. I covered all that money back plus more, and I provide a surplus to the actual school districts on top of it.
So you can buy your hovercraft.
Bingo! Yes, exactly right. Here's the best part of all of this. Now locally, if you want to lower taxes, you can if you want to. No need for school tax anymore. Goes down. Next, not just that. I just want to make a very simple way of funding schools. Very simple. And this is grossly simple, and it is radically different. And I mean, right now, there's a horrible system right now, if you know the system. There's some algorithm that decides what you do based upon testing and then they give the money. And then on top of that, you've got to bid to get more and ask for more and have grants to write extra money from the state or federal government. Terrible. And if you don't spend all your money, what happens? You lose it. Wow, is that stupid? Who thought of that? Here is the new rule. Any district you got, number of kids times X $1,000. I'm not sure what that number is yet. I'm thinking maybe it's 17K is my guess, but I'm not really sure what that number is. There's your check. Good luck. I have one string and one string only. What is that? Transparency. That's it. It's our money. You spend it. I want to know how. That's it. Now, what will happen? Most school districts will change nothing because of habit. But some will change a whole lot and others will watch. That's why if it's your money, that's what you get. If you want to give your 50 or 100 bucks to parents for training their kids, go ahead. That's your money. If you save it because you didn't spend it, guess what you can do? Save it. You can. No more let's petition to the government to get this or to get that or to get this new program that lasts for 1 year and sucks and hurts kids and because we got extra money for it. Or no more, oh, my buddy here, he runs a construction company and he gave me $40,000 for my campaign and he can build a football field and you know what I think? Your district needs a football field. And I think I'll give you $10 million so you can hire him to build a football field. That happens every year, all the time. That goes away. There's your money. Good luck. It will change everything. Will we consolidate districts? If you think it's appropriate. People talk about it all the time. It should be only one district per county. Do I know better? I don't. How about instead, you guys decide. The money doesn't change. You get X dollars per student, period. If you think consolidating is a good idea, please consolidate. If you think not, don't. Do what makes sense for your kids. Happy teachers, happy kids, happy parents. But there's one more side effect to all of this, and that is school safety. Sounds crazy, but it's true. Everything I talk about, no extra money, better service, multiple benefits. Here's the side benefit to this. People talk about school safety all the time. Larry, our kids shooting schools up, school shootings. Guns aren't killing our kids. It's not what it is. 3 things kill our kids: lack of community, lack of purpose, and loneliness. That's what's killing our children. Those 3 things. These kids feel horrible. While what they're doing is murder, at the core and root is a public suicide. That's what it is. It's a public suicide. Kids who have purpose, kids who have community, don't commit suicide. That's how it works. That's simple logic. That's simple humanity. That's all it is. Imagine for a second, you're an 11th to 12th grader. You're in a class, and everybody wants to be in that class. They've all chosen that school. You're a teacher, 11th, 12th grade. Every student wants to be in that class. It changes everything. You get a job. You're in trade school. I can't go shoot people. The tractor's broken. It sounds crazy, but it's true. I have purpose. The farm owner needs me to get there and fix the tractor. I have purpose. I can't go kill people. I got to go to school because my friends are all putting together a new rocket design. I have purpose. I have community. I don't go kill people. I'm not joking, guys. This is serious. Give kids purpose. Give them community. Give them meaning. Don't make them lonely. They don't kill people. It's not how it works. You will find a difference. I had a guy in one of my events go, Larry, my kid's going to be fine because he's so super smart. You know, he's got no people skills at all. This guy said it. That's what he told me. You know, he's book smart, whatever. I said, that's wonderful. And when he goes to high school, what's going to happen? What do you mean? He's going to be bullied. Do you guys forget high school? That's how it works. But imagine at 16 he goes off to either an associate's degree because he's so smart, where all the smart kids go. All the book smart kids go. Or he goes to a good prep school because he wants to be a doctor or a lawyer or something, whatever. It's a good prep school, whatever he goes to. He's going to be bullied there?
His peers.
They're all his peers. They all like Doctor Who. It's fine. They all like Doctor Who. It's all good, right? So I like Doctor Who too. That's what I'm teasing. Yes, I'm a geek too. Yes. Anyway, my point being, that begins to go away. And that's what I'm talking about. I brought up education because it will change taxation. It will raise money. It will give us better results. And I'm telling you, if you haven't heard me speak, you've never heard these ideas. That's a fact. If you haven't heard me speak, you have never heard these ideas because no one else has them. Every idea you might say, Larry, I don't like this or I don't like that. That's okay. You might not like it. It's okay. What's your alternative? I just gave it to you. Nothing. Your alternative is a death spiral. That is your alternative. Do not grade me against perfection. Grade me against the alternative. If I'm wrong, help me. Fix it. I got these ideas. I made them by sitting with my policy team and talking to you and figuring this out when I was doing this last year. You think I knew all these issues were in New York State? I didn't know all of them. I knew some of them. I didn't know all of them. But I knew them as I started crossing the state and people started telling me these things. That's how I started figuring it out and figuring out ways to fix it. I have a plan. If you want a plan, you got to talk to this guy. All right, last piece, I'll leave you with this. And that is, if you want the same thing, keep voting the same way. People are going to tell you 2 things when they fight me. They're going to beat me up on 2 things. Number 1, Larry Sharpe's a con man selling you some deal that could never happen, could never work ever. You hear it all the time. Never work, con man, never work. Okay. Maybe they're right. Maybe what I'm saying can't work. Possible. Yeah. So what if I can't fix all of education, but some of it? Thank you. What if I can't fix all the taxation issues, but some of them? Right? What if I can't get every single law enforcement officer on the right track, but just corrections officers? Yes! Where is the downside? Yes, I'm shooting for a lot. Yes, my ideas are bold. Yes, my ideas are radical. Yes, they are because our state's a disaster. Let's say I can't fully fund the Erie Canal, only half of it. We can't get hovercraft. We only get regular boats. So what?
We might drop to 52nd.
Yeah, we might go from 49th to 50th in something, right? I don't know. What. Who cares? We'll get better. Let's get better, guys. We can get better. So when they tell you that, ask them this. Got it. What's your plan? That's it. That's your response. Yeah, okay, what's your plan? Well, we got to push down and chip And, oh, so nothing? Well, waste for abuse, so nothing. We have to fund and invest. So taxes? Your answer is taxes or nothing. And sadly, that's every other candidate. Every other candidate, their answer is taxes or nothing. That's their answer. I don't give you that. But more importantly, if I'm wrong, help me fix it. I'm happy to be wrong. Did anybody here see my Joe Rogan interview? Some of you did, okay. At the end of the Joe Rogan interview, he was saying, Larry, your ideas are great. You got to lock those ideas down. Remember that? At the end of the interview? And I said, no. Because people will take those ideas. What did I say? Let them take it. Take them. Everything I do, it's online. You can take it. That's the sad part. The people running against me haven't figured out that what I'm doing is right. They can just take it. They could just take it. But they can't take it because the people running against me are establishment. That's the issue. They're telling you how they're going to fix things. If you're a Democrat, you would have already fixed it. If you're a Republican, you'd already had a plan. No plan, haven't fixed it. They can't drain the swamp. They live in the swamp. They can't fix the establishment. They are the establishment. Asking them to change is asking them to burn down their own house. If you like that, vote for them. Either of them, same result. Vote for me, you will get change. If you want to help out, here's what you do. Share, 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 share. Let everybody know. My biggest problem is only one thing, name recognition. That's it. We fix name recognition, I win. Done. And that's it. That is the only linchpin. When people hear what I have to say, they overwhelmingly want to vote for me. Overwhelmingly. There are some who are hardcore no matter what. I got it. Overwhelmingly, they want to vote for me. Overwhelmingly. So if you let people know who I am, they'll vote for me. So tell your friends. Tell your family members. Show up. Get a sign if you can get a sign, right? Put a bumper sticker in your car if you can. Whatever. Let people know that I'm out here running. That's critical. Second thing, if you're online and you see any article, any issue, any video talking about New York in any way, shape, or form, put my name there. Thank you. Please keep doing it. Yes. Yes. Don't stop. Please, put my name there. You know how many people have told me that they found out about me on Cuomo's page? Yes. Yes, on Cuomo's Facebook page. They found out about me on Cuomo's Facebook page. So please, always put my name down whenever you can. And last, if you can donate, please donate. I'm always looking for money. Why? It's true. Why am I looking for money? Because we need it. For me to get my name out, it costs money. While I'm doing this, you guys know I'm a business guy. While I'm doing this, I'm not in front of you. I'm sorry, I'm not in front of you. I'm not in front of clients. Sorry, I'm in front of you. Magic. All right, yes. Invisible. No, so I am in front of you, yes. So I'm not in front of clients. If I'm not in front of clients, I can't make money. As I said before, I've lost over 50% of my income went away last year doing this. I will lose over 75%